Okay, everybody, how are you doing? My name is Adrian, and I'm the instructor for Kinesiology 111, basic weight training. This will be for the fall of 2025. This will be a video going over the different components of the syllabus. So let me go ahead and minimize myself out of the way here. This is in your Blackboard shell right now. I've already opened up the syllabi for you. Now, just so you know, I mean, this is a 100 level course. I'm presuming that's, for some of you, this is kind of new for you in terms of college and going through a syllabi, but you'll do this in every one of your courses with probably 2/3 of the information being similar from course to course to course. But here's the thing. You also have information that's specific regarding the course. So the document you're looking at right now is the syllabi, and it serves on different purposes, right? It's kind of informational in terms of it provides information regarding the course. It also outlines the relationship between you, the student, myself, the instructor, as well as the university. It's kind of a three-party agreement. And then beyond that, it's informational regarding the college as well. So, the document itself is actually a really good document to kind of take a moment to look through, because you'll have resources in here that you'll fall back on later on, I have no doubt. But let's go ahead and dig in and get going here. So Kinesiology 111, fall term, 1 credit hour course. We start August 18th and go to December 7th. Finals week is a week after that. We do not have a final for this course. We meet on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 a.m. Our class will be held in the fitness center in M building. Now, when you come in, you'll see like a desk in the front. If you're familiar with M building, you'll go to the desk, you'll let them know you're here for a class. You may have to take care of a few odds and ends at the front desk to make sure you're okay. In terms of access to the building, which I'm sure most of you won't have a problem, but just make sure you give yourself a couple extra minutes on the first day. It's a blended class, so I'll be providing lecture material here in a Blackboard environment, but also I'll be very hands-on in the classroom itself and working with you guys on your workouts. So if we look at some important dates, we have the start of the semester, we have our first class on Tuesday the 19th, and then you have August 25th and November 17th. One is the last day to drop for 100% refund. The other is to withdraw from the course. Now, usually this happens because students get too far behind, or they're not doing well in the class. I hope that you don't reach a point in this class where you have to drop or withdraw. My hope is that you can come to me beforehand and let me know that you're struggling a little bit. Maybe we can find a way to have you not lose the time and energy that you invested in the course, and you can still keep your grade. Okay, so further down, this is my information. You can refer to me as Adrian. I've had people go Coach Adrian, Coach Fleischer, Professor, Instructor Adrian, Instructor Fleischer, totally fine. In terms of appropriateness, just Adrian is fine. This is a number on campus for me, though I never, ever use it. The best for me is email. You'll notice, though, it's A Fleisch. There's no R, even though my last name is Fleischer. When they did the email addresses on campus when I started several years ago, they only had X amount of characters that they used for the person, so it cut the R off my last name. But A Fleisch at Harper College is my email address, while my last name is Fleischer. As I noted, I'm an adjunct, so I don't have an office on campus or a place where we can meet. So if you do need to meet, we can arrange a time, either do it Zoom or WebEx, or we can do something like kind of ad hoc while we're standing on our feet and have a meeting in M building, kind of during our class time or right after our class time. Beyond that, with my email policy, I'm pretty darn good at getting back to people within 24 hours, but I got to tell you, like on a weekend, it might be a little bit over 24 hours, but usually if you send me something on a Monday, you're going to get a response on a Monday. That's for sure. Course description, this is all information you should have read when you signed up for the course. It describes the course itself and what we're going to be doing. It's a fitness-related activities-based course. We're going to be working out. That's it. Beyond that, I just ask that when you get in the facility, you make sure you have the proper workout attire on. You make sure you have shoes that are appropriate for working out. You can use headphones. That's totally cool, but just have good situational awareness, right? Because you're going to be working out in a facility that has members from the community and also other members who might be students at Harper and could perhaps be your history professor at Harper. So to that end, you just need to have good situational awareness, and usually something like in that situation, like yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am, is a good stepping off point. And just being aware of your surroundings. Now, with some of the workouts, you're going to be doing some activities that are athletically based, so you're going to be pretty active. If I can put it that way, there might be box jumps, there might be some landmine work, there could be some power cleans, plyometric work, jumping over hurdles, using ropes, throwing medicine balls. So you're going to create motion and noise in the facility. Just be aware if you see somebody who's about ready to walk by and they don't realize you're throwing a medicine ball at the wall, perhaps just take a moment, pause, let that person walk by. Don't initiate the confrontation and just allow that person to go about their day. Believe me, it'll happen. Somebody will walk by right when you're about ready to throw a medicine ball just because they don't have good situational awareness. So you have to. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and scroll on down a little bit further. When we get into technology, you'll have to have some understanding of Blackboard and how it works. If you don't or have difficulty with Blackboard, we have an entire department that's more than happy to help you, whether it's calling us or reaching out to the service desk via the email address or calling them. They're more than happy to help. We're also going to use an app called Team Builder. Now, many of the students that I've worked with before have had exposure to Team Builder through athletics in high school. So to that end, it won't be anything new. I'll actually start loading that content in here over this weekend and try to stay ahead of the content curve with you guys. When we get further down here in terms of assessments, this is it. Like, how do you get on the A train, right? That's the biggie. You want 297 points in this course. And the way it sets up is because it's activities based. You show up, you do your workout, you document your workouts in Team Builder, and that's how I grade them. And you end up earning points for every workout. 30 workouts, 5 points apiece, 150 points. Pretty straightforward math. And you can see it's almost dang near half of your grade is based off of the workout. So, in terms of where you want to allocate your time and energy, I know it's 9 o'clock in the morning, but I don't care if you got to put a hat on and crawl to the gym. You put a hat on and crawl and make your way to the gym and get your workout on. And then the other stuff will kind of fall in place. And, you'll probably end up working on some of this with your teammates or classmates in terms of the post and response. You're going to dialogue, but the check for learning, I'm almost certain, because it's happened before, where a group of guys all get together, or a group of athletes all get together, or a group of students all get together, and they kind of work on the check for learning assignments, which I'm totally fine in crowdsourcing that for this class. A little more information regarding each of the assignments down here. You can read through those at your leisure. Please make it a point to get here. You can and have the ability to make up some of your workouts, but I want you to be here on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 and be able to get your workouts done, kind of like PE first period, right? Get it done and get on with your day. And I can't stress this enough because attendance is key, but I understand also because you're going to be commuting to get to Harper. You're going to have days where maybe a flat tire. You might have a battery that dies. Perhaps there's a snow day, whatever it may be. Just send me an email, let me know, and we can kind of work out some of the details. But the last thing you want is to not show up, not get your workout, and I have no feedback or information as to what's going on, and I'm left to think you just blew off the course. So make sure you go ahead and communicate that with me through email. Now here we get into some policies for the college, and I'll kind of let you go through this, but I want to point this out because you're going to see this in every one of your courses. I'm on a committee that is shared governance, and we evaluate many of the policies that are in place at Harper. And one of them, they changed the verbiage regarding cheating to include artificial intelligence, chatbots, etc. Now, just full disclosure, I use large language models. I use something like ChatGPT to help me revise my content. It's something that I use in terms of having a great sounding board, quite honestly, to have something really evaluate what I'm going to put out before I put it on Blackboard for the students to review or take a test or whatever. So it's a great tool, don't get me wrong. But I'm disclosing that on the front end. And here's the important part for you. And it might be a little bit different in some of your other classes, but in some of my higher end classes, like I'll ask students deliberately to go out to ChatGPT, research a topic, come up with a research paper, and then I want the students to cross-reference the references that are provided, because sometimes those references are wrong. And here's where it becomes important to you. If you just do a ChatGPT large language model search regarding a topic, ask it to do and provide references, it does so. And I'm your instructor, and I cut and paste one of your references into maybe a Google search or Google Scholar, and it doesn't exist, you just failed that assignment because you plagiarized. So a couple things, one of which is if you're going to use ChatGPT or large language models in any of your other classes, make sure you double check the references. This is my tip of the day. And then also make sure that you cite that and you note, I used large language model, could be ChatGPT, whatever it is, to help me in the research for this paper, and disclose that. It's completely appropriate in my classes, and I would verify if it's okay with your other instructors. But for you to just go out, have Grok or any other ones go out and just do, or Grok or ChatGPT just go out and do a paper for you and you submit it, that's plagiarism. You're going to fail 100%. All right, so further down, some more information, equal opportunity statement. And this is where the resources come in. I hope you understand that here on campus or anywhere else, this is an environment where you need not suffer in silence. So say you have, I don't know, food insecurities, you have difficulty with transportation, or you have roommate issues, or perhaps there are some insecurities regarding housing. We have resources through things like Hawk Care. We have resources like things through counseling services. And this document, I'm not going to hit all of them, but I'm just going to scroll through it slowly and want you to realize that you should look at this in terms of these are things that you can resource: academic advising, the support center, the tutoring center, the writing center, the computer lab. These are all things that you can source as a student on this campus. And believe me when I tell you, these people really are keen on helping students. They are. And I would use this as a resource and keep this document in front of mind. If you run into a problem with writing a paper, go back and source this information out of the document to find the writing center. Now with ADS, if a student had like an IEP, or perhaps they have some type of accommodation on campus, I will hear about that before class starts. But please feel free to come up and approach me. I would much rather read to you your quiz, check for learning, whatever assignment it is, so we get it right, and you can ask me questions real time, as opposed to me sending you to the testing center and they might not be able to address your questions real time. So to that end, I'll get information regarding this, but just double check, and let's double check that and make sure you guys approach me if you have any type of accommodations. I'm going to scroll down a little bit further. You guys can read this at your leisure, because the other part I want to get to is our schedule on the bottom here. So with the schedule itself, it breaks out into basically 4 modules: 1, 2, 3, 4. And when you get into these 4 modules, the basic topics that we have here over the first 4 weeks, and what you'll notice is here you have post and response 1, 2, right? And then you have workouts 1 and 2, workouts 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. So you can see with this, you're going to have a post and response, you're going to have workouts, and then at the end of each module, you have a check for learning. These are the dates that each one will be due by, and it's pretty straightforward. I can't stress this enough. Don't sleep on this. Make sure you just get your stuff done as it's coming at you and get it submitted. And that way we can have it graded, we can have it in the book, because the last thing I want is to have a student in December trying to finish all these assignments or remembering what they did in their workouts in week 11 and 12. Make sure you take care of inputting that information in Team Builder at that moment. Make sure you hit the save button, and I'll walk you through this in another video. Make sure you do your post and response and your check for learnings. That way you don't have to have the crunch in a 1-credit weightlifting course to get everything done. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off here and move on to my next video, but I'm definitely looking forward to working with you guys and looking forward to a great semester. Thanks.